Yeah, Tim Gray is here, but Tim GPT was unfortunately unable to make it today, Matt.
That's all right. That's all right. We can make use with the one and learn from that and how to best use them going into the future. But thanks.
You bet.
So excellent. So as Tim starts sharing out his screen and getting into the presentation, I'll go ahead and do just a brief introduction for Tim. So Tim, as I mentioned, is part of our healthcare and life sciences team. He's the U.S. Chief Health Innovation Officer and a senior industry advisor at Microsoft. He advises organizations on how innovative technologies can enhance clinical, operational, and financial performance, uh, maximize capacity and human experience, and transform care models. He's a leader in how specific technologies, including AI, can be best deployed to address digital transformation imperatives such as human engagement, experience, burnout, care at home, healthcare of the future, and many others. By listening to customers and understanding their challenges, Tim drives outcomes that truly align strategy and needs. So without further ado, Tim, we can see your screen share up at the agenda slide. I'll go ahead and turn things over to you, my friend.
Perfect. And you can still hear me okay?
Yep, got you fine.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good morning, good day, everybody. My name is Tim Gray. I'm the U.S. Chief Health Innovation Officer. I did not put any comments in the chat yet, but for all those that are here today, I'm coming in from Charlotte, North Carolina, and such awesome to be part of this international event today. And Matt, thank you for giving the background there. Really appreciate it. I am a big fan of staying ahead of like these blocks and moving through quickly. So what we've learned during these in-person roadshows is that we get many questions, and so we want to leave time for that. But we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to kick us off and just talk a little bit about Microsoft and healthcare and really what we've done in the past few years to really hone in on specifics. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about some of our investments that we've made in healthcare and just broadly as well too. And I think that'll tee it up very nicely for the next set of speakers to take us through the specifics that you see here on the agenda today. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a quote from our CEO, Mr. Satya Nadella. And you can read it here, but as you all are reading this, I'll just say that, here at Microsoft, we are mission driven. And when I work with our provider customers and a lot of our healthcare customers, many, if not all of them, are mission driven too. But with that being said, our mission here at Microsoft is to empower every person within our organization and on the planet to achieve more. And if we look at AI, our aim is to extend that empowerment with the tools of AI so that we can solve some of the most pressing problems that we're seeing out there in our society, in our world, and even our economy. With that, we have perils and promises with this technology. And our leaders have been speaking about this through many different forms of media over the last few months. It's been quite busy since some of our more recent announcements, but you'll see that that's really where we become grounded and rooted in here at Microsoft. So this is a busy slide, but again, I'll let the audience here digest some of these metrics, and I'll talk about a few of them here. But again, I just wanted to express my appreciation for all of the international, national guests who are joining from all over the world and taking time out of your day to spend time with us here at Microsoft. Again, I'll talk about some of this vision and approach that's going to be impactful for your journey of unlocking the value of insights from your data as you move forward here. So I'm going to share some of the Microsoft strategy here and talk a little bit about this. So just if I can turn the clock back a little bit here, a number of years ago, we at Microsoft made a strategic decision to verticalize several key industries. Some of you may be familiar with that. This may be news to some others, but we have many industries here at Microsoft, with healthcare being one of them, but we have others such as automotive and retail, manufacturing. But the key thing to take away here is that we really focused on healthcare as being one of those verticalized, we call them operating units here at Microsoft, where we're putting a lot of dedication and strategy into. Now I'm going to rewind the clock back, not as far back, but just a handful of years ago, we actually took that one step further, believe it or not. And we actually sub-verticalized within our healthcare practice into four major components. We have what we call our payer provider unit. We have our pharma unit, which is pharmaceuticals, drug discovery. We have health solutions, and we have life sciences. And so by doing this, we've dedicated the employees in each of these areas to support each of these different verticals. So if you look at the employees that are aligned to payer provider, these employees are specifically working with large hospital and health systems across the world, and so forth for pharma and health solutions and life sciences. So we've made that vertical sub-verticalization very precise. And again, you've been following the media for the last few years. You've seen some of our investments that we've made in healthcare. We've made a number of investments overall as an organization. So with healthcare being a large industry that we've had investments in, we've kind of co-invested across all of our industry with our security and our protection as well too. So we are an ever-evolving company. You probably see that we reinvent ourselves every few years, and that's quite evident by the technologies that you're seeing there. Okay, gonna move along here, try to get ahead of the curve here. So if you look at our healthcare data strategy, our strategy basically is pretty simple. It's to deliver the most comprehensive, most complete, most end-to-end platform. And I pause there on purpose. We are a platform company, right? For your organization to achieve through your data-driven insights and analytics. So the first area here I'd like to focus on the top left-hand corner of the screen is our intelligent health data. And we've gone and done something so simple and so convenient for our customers, is that we've been able to build these types of plumbing within our cloud platform. So if you look at these these technologies for protected health information in the cloud, it's built on open global standards for things like FHIR and DICOM, which is our medical imaging, which ensures data privacy with compliance. And helps de-identify for secondary use and generate insights through analytics in our AI tool. So something that we've done that's really helped transform is really just kind of built that into our plumbing is what I call it, keeping it simple. If you look at our healthcare and life sciences cloud capabilities, we're developing industry-specific first and third-party capabilities onto Azure to accelerate our time to value and your time to value. These capabilities are a sampling of achieving true promise of the cloud, which is aligned to our most important mission of our industry. And that's to deliver the highest quality, lowest cost, and better products associated to outcomes in your organization. Just kind of going around the screen here, if I look at our industry collaborations and partnerships, you'll see that we have quite a few here. Again, this is just a sample from adaptive biotechnologies to Terra. And again, I won't go too much into this because we have such a large packed day, but I just wanted to bring to light that we are making these industry collaborations here. And then finally on this slide, I look at our data platform partnerships here. One that you might have heard of is our relationship with OpenAI and our partnership with them. So, but outside of OpenAI and Databricks here, we have over 400,000 partners globally representing quite a bit of our strategy moving forward. So I mentioned OpenAI, but I also wanted to take the time to mention Databricks too, which is an organization that we have a great partnership with. So we will discuss these partnerships into more detail today. I'm really just kind of teeing it up for everybody here and building that excitement as we get into these following sessions. But again, this is going to be just a great session. And I am, as you can tell, very excited about our healthcare data strategy, as it is just refreshing to just see every time I look at this. So I'm really excited about moving forward with that. I'll talk about some of the unique partnerships and industry collaborations just real quick as well too. Again, if you've been following along certain aspects of media, a few years ago we made this quite significant acquisition of Nuance and brought Nuance under the Microsoft umbrella. Um, it is our third largest acquisition behind just a few. But again, for those in healthcare, it is quite significant. Um, if you know Nuance or if you don't know Nuance, they are a best in class of conversational AI and ambient intelligence. Um, they work with many customers across the globe and really helped bring a complete healthcare platform to Microsoft. OpenAI, again, I think this is one that we've talked at quite a bit since the beginning of this year. You've probably heard quite a bit through many different partners, so I'm not going to get into too much detail, but the partnership actually began in 2016, believe it or not. So going back 7 years ago is when we started this investment in strategy with OpenAI. Only in the most recent months have you seen larger investments in the partnership grow to what it is today. So it's been great. You know, and OpenAI brings this amazing supercomputing at scale to not only to Microsoft platform, but to you as the customer. And then the last thing I'll just mention about that is that we are the exclusive cloud partner for OpenAI. And just if you haven't picked up on it, OpenAI and Microsoft are two separate companies. So I didn't want to confuse anyone with that, but we are two distinct companies with a tremendous partnership. And then finally, Databricks. I said I would talk a bit more about Databricks. So again, it's a first-party service that is run on Azure. Again, we've had a multi-year collaboration and partnership with Databricks. A lot of joint engineering investments to optimize Databricks on Azure and integrate into the broader Azure cloud of our ecosystem. But again, these are just some I wanted to call. So why are we making all these investments, right? And I want to kind of pivot to the reality of today. And again, if you are following along, some of today's reality is just very challenging. A lot of this was starting to take light and was taking light before the COVID pandemic. But as we emerge from that pandemic, you're seeing a lot of press out there about operating loss, health systems that are eliminating positions and services, and quite a lot of industries are going through that, unfortunately. But at the most critical junction of care is our clinicians that are bringing care to us as consumers within the healthcare ecosystem. We're seeing much highlight around cognitive burden and burnout. And I'm sure you've probably heard this. So the pressure is on technology to really help identify and create workflows and solutions that will bring a sense of ease back to these such critical work, these critical roles within the healthcare ecosystem. I'm not going to say technology is going to solve everything, but it's going to be a major contributor on how we flip the script on these stories moving forward. Again, I look at our investments from Microsoft and what we're doing. I see a lot of tremendous outcomes, potentials that we're going to be able to help flip the script on this and start to see some quality measures sooner than later on this. For those in the healthcare IT space, if you do attend any of the HIMSS, or if you attended the HIMSS national event back in April in Chicago, our very own Peter Lee was our keynote speaker for this. In fact, when I'm asked about, what was your takeaway from HIMSS this past year? It was AI. It was everywhere. It was in conversations at our booth. It was in conversations walking down the hall. It was at conversations during educational sessions. It was everywhere. We really dominated the industry event this year. So again, that's continuing to pick up steam. And again, there's going to be some tremendous outcomes that are going to come from this. But again, some of those outcomes are pretty specific. According to a recent study, in fact, if you look at large language models, they're going to be impacting every category, ranging from a percentage of a workday of augmenting and streamlining that. And so again, this comes from a recent study here, but 40% of all working hours in healthcare could be supported or augmented by language-based and generative AI. Half of the healthcare organizations are planning to use ChatGPT for learning purposes, and more than half are planning pilot use cases this year. In fact, I spend a lot of my time working with a lot of our customers on that strategy and how that's going to look moving forward. Some of these use cases are just very simple, and some of them are more complex, but each organization is working to prioritize those use cases as they progress. The recent study also says that 90% of healthcare providers and 89% of healthcare payer executives agree that advancements in generative AI are ushering in a new era of enterprise intelligence. I reflect back on my career and I look at some of these technological milestones. I look back to when the World Wide Web came out, and I'm probably going to date myself here to the audience, but even in more recent times, some of these other technological booms that have occurred, we're living one today and now. So you're all part of this. And again, another study that I just wanted to share with the team here and the audience here is that generative AI is in healthcare is projected to grow faster within healthcare than in any of the other industries out there. So again, some real exciting times here as we look forward to this. And then finally, as I wrap up here, when you're thinking about your journey with data and AI, and you're thinking about how you're going to move forward here. Again, this screen is a little busy here, so I'll let you just kind of take a look at it. I'm not going to go through every bullet points here. But think about this, right? As you think about your next steps and your organization's next steps, what is it going to take to get started? Where are you from a level set with advancements in your organization around AI? Truth be told, there's probably some variations of AI taking place in your organization. In fact, I'm quite confident of that is taking place today and now. But then how are you going to elevate that and implement that throughout your organization? So think about that. It's not about picking the right use case, but it's about picking the right use case that's right for your organization and where to start. For those that know me, I go by this mantra of crawl, walk, run. So I like to always share that with whoever I speak with when moving forward with this, because this is quite significant and going to bring a lot of cultural change into organizations. So with that, I think I'm probably getting close to time here. So just a couple more quick things to bring up here. Matt, if I'm doing good on time, I'll just kind of go through a couple of these real quick.
Go for it.
But when I talk about it's happening today and now, you're probably seeing through our partnership at Nuance that this OpenAI and generative AI technologies are being implemented and piloted this year. For those that are familiar with Nuance, there was a release this year earlier around DAX Express, which is going to be a fully automated AI note creation generation solution that takes existing technologies and embeds the OpenAI technology to make the ability to create a clinical note more streamlined and quicker and more precise. So that is being piloted this year. Also, for those who are familiar with the EHR space, electronic healthcare record space, a few EHRs publicly announced that they were making a strategic collaboration around Microsoft and the OpenAI service. The most prominent of that is the Epic systems. Again, this was an announcement made at HIMSS this past year, where they're going to be embedding OpenAI into their solution, their EHR. And again, they've already started to pilot this with a number. In fact, there are actually a few more customers that have moved forward with the pilot on this. So the sooner that those go through, the quicker you'll see this get close to some sort of general availability. But again, pilots are already taking place during these. And then finally, another EHR vendor, eClinicalWorks, is bringing GPT, large language models, to their EHR and practice management solutions. So again, it's happening. And so the reality is here. Um, so I'd like to conclude on this. I'm going to conclude on, this may be one of the most technological inflections of our lifetimes. Um, Again, I reflect back on some of the ones that I saw earlier in my career and even pre-career. Um, but again, we're living this moment today. It's how we all kind of come together and proceed. Will ultimately determine where this goes. So, with that, thank you again for attending today. We have a great session lined up with tremendous speakers. I hope where you're calling in from, um, you're just excited and in a comfortable spot to just take in all this great information. So, with that, I'm going to conclude. Thanks
Yeah,
again. Matt, I'll turn it back to you so you can take it from there. But thank you very much, everybody.
yeah, thank you much, Tim. There was one question before you drop off there that had come up. If can just take a minute to comment on it,
Sure.
which is, with the interactions you've had with healthcare organizations, where are you seeing customers starting their AI journey?
Yeah, great question. It's very simple, right? It's where they're looking at where they can get efficiencies and bring automation to workflows that are subsequently just very tedious and arduous to produce. So something as simple as taking your intranet, or maybe your intranet where you're keeping like policies and trainings, and bringing the chat GPT and OpenAI service to bring education and content from something simple as your intranet quickly to an employee. So for example, I was talking to a health system recently that utilizes a Epic as their EHR. And they have a dedicated Epic team that works within the healthcare organization. And so they created all these wonderful training documents and shortcuts and little placards and things that will help newer employees and existing employees navigate through the EHR and documentation and practice. Um, and so the conversations were around, yeah, if I need to go figure out where to do something like remove a Foley catheter or some sort of specialized clinical workflow that I need to document, that I may not do all the time, I have to go into my SharePoint site and go into the training manuals, scroll through the chapters and find out where I do that. Now I can do something as simple as leverage, a large language model and bring that documentation to me. So things as simple as that, where to look at benefits, just very simple things that, wow, that's pretty simple. You know, that's been pretty exciting to see. I start to
Excellent.
think about it from my senses. How am I going to use this in my workflows here at Microsoft? How am I going to leverage this to make my life easier? And I just look at some of the simple administrative things like that. So
Excellent. Fantastic. So thank you very much. We are at time for you now, Tim, but glad we were able to get at least one of those in. But as you commented on, would love to stay on time and on schedule as we get through all the content.
absolutely.
So,
Thanks again.
yep.